Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, I want to get 100 dislikes on this video. Please show your support. Even if you don't pray for me, just show your support by hitting the dislike button. I am going through so much in my life, and the hardest part about it is that it's not something I can share with a lot of people that I run into. Right? It's not like if I were going through chemotherapy, or even if my parents are going through chemotherapy, I'd share that with my colleagues and with my boss and with everybody that was significant in my life. Right? The thing that I'm going through is not very easy to talk about. That's the thing, right? So I want you guys to at least show your support by hitting the dislike button on here. Let's do it again. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I was thinking one day if I ever become a politician and I need to filibuster, I could just sing Peter Dislike over and over and over again for 24 straight hours. Right? I'd have a really fun time doing that. Let's sing it again. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, I'm having a lot of difficulty due to my return to the dating scene. Let's count all of the dramas that I've had. First, I was in. Well, before all of this, a friend from church had set me up on a blind date, and that one went okay. I did make a few friends out of that. Unfortunately, some of the friends I made. They got some differences in lifestyle, and there was some difficulties there. But at least it gave me a lot of confidence to go out and mingle with other people. And then I went to Taiwan for my grandmother's funeral. And at the rate I'm going, soon I will be joining my grandmother. I haven't been taking very good care of myself, and that's the crux of what this video is going to be about. I was in Taiwan when the last day of my trip, I went out with a girl that I had met on Bumble. And so I'm still chatting with the girl, but sporadically. There have been times where we've run out of things to say, and the last couple of days have just been. I feel like our discussions are hanging by a thread. I probably should go to Taiwan to see her to rejuvenate the whole situation, and possibly either make or break the relationship. Right? That's what I'm thinking. At least get it done with. Right? But that gave me a considerable amount of turbulence. I met another girl in Houston, and that's when my troubles really started. I was getting ready for the trip to Houston. I forgot about my performance review. Every semester, our dean comes in to observe one class, but I forgot the date of the review, and I was unprepared, and I got a bad review. And so, unfortunately, I've been very distracted. I I was at a couple of speed dating events, and I kind of hit it big with a girl there. We'll call her Malia. But Malia's got a lot on her mind. She's juggling two jobs, and she had a little bit of family drama, if you will. I hate to go into the details. But one day, I've been waiting for her to text me to pick her up. Her car was being repaired or something. And I waited 2, 3 hours, and my stomach was just in a knot. And unfortunately, those are the kind of things that are destroying my work performance. I know it sounds weird, but those things destroy me. I I We had a spring carnival here at the school campus, and I was deliberating on whether or not I should go. There's a uh, problem that often happens when you try to go to those carnivals alone. I hate to repeat the whole story. I was talking to one of my former students about whether or not I should make a scene about that problem. Because I'm a big activist on people who are single. And my student, she's only 16 years old, if you can believe it. Actually, she was 15 when she took my class. She's 16 now. But she said that she was going to go with me. And I couldn't, she said she couldn't believe I couldn't find anybody to go. In fact, she wants to go with me. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. But I didn't think that was that great of an idea, so I spun it as maybe I should get to know the rest of her family. I asked her if she would bring mom or dad, and she brought her older sister, I think 21 years old, and that made me feel a little bit more comfortable about it. But on the day of the carnival, they were late getting there. And again, my stomach was in a knot, and by the time they came, I was already very sick. You know, I have binge eating problems, and while I was waiting for them and kind of coming to terms that they weren't going to come, I started eating, and so by the time they came, I was sick, and I actually ended up throwing up at the end of the night, and unfortunately, that has been the story of my life these last 3 months. I was here at this student union when I met another girl, 18 years old, and she was fascinated with what I was teaching. And one day after her class, she came over to the engineering department to see what I was teaching, and she promised to look into pivoting her studies. And so that one went okay. She didn't not show or show up late or anything like that. But you know what? After the interaction, I was just so drained. And I went to class completely drained and all that. And I went home and argued with my roommates because I was just so drained. And I got another bad review from my students here at the college. And I've kind of come to terms that I may not teach here at Glendale Community College again. I started looking for other work. And I, unfortunately, it's one of those things that now I. I know I'm going to do well once I find that life partner. It's the getting from here to there that I'm having a lot of difficult times with, right? It's kind of like for those of you guys who are investing in silver, gold in the early 20 teens, right? You have to stay in there, right? There were times when I think silver was $50 an ounce, gold was 1900 in 2011. And the bismuth was $20 a pound, right? And then there were times, and then fast forward a few years later in 2017, they all bottomed out, right? Bismuth at $3 a pound, silver was $15 an ounce. Actually, silver hit $12 an ounce at the height of the pandemic. Gold fell to $900 an ounce, and a lot of people threw in the towel, right? Right now, I'm trying to remember not to throw in the towel, kind of like how I didn't with the precious metals in 2017, right? But it's one of those things, isn't there a saying that the markets can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent, right? Here, life the relationships can stay turbulent longer than you can keep your life afloat, right? I'm trying to remember that, right, and trying to hold in there and trying to get as much support as I can. Um, thank God, the precious metals market is throwing me a life raft at the moment, right? To keep this going for a little bit longer until I get to the other side of this, the other side of the sea, if you will, or turbulent seas, right? But I need you guys to continue praying for me. I'll feel a lot better next week when I get the offer at the other college that I applied to teach. Then I could sign on to that and kind of check out over here, if you will. Maybe not completely check out. I do love all of my students, but take it easier when I get this mediocre news and when I'm stressed and all that. I'm just checking my email right now because I've been fearful about checking it. Okay, nothing crazy there. Although Helene Curry still hasn't responded to me, and that's been giving me a lot of drama at the moment. Uh, okay, just give me a little bit of a prayer as I make it to the other side of these turbulent seas, if you will. Bum 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 bum. What's really sad is that I can't even when my students, when I'm losing my focus with my students, I can't even say what's going on, right? If my mom were not to curse anybody, but if one of my family members were going through any sort of disease, or maybe I've had a few friends who have unfortunately overdosed on drugs, right? Imagine one of my family members or a close friend were going through rehab, right? And I was distracted. Maybe a family member or a friend had just attempted suicide and I was distracted by that. I would probably tell people, right? Or even if I had attempted suicide over the weekend, I was distracted. I would probably tell, right? But dating stress just doesn't flow out of the mouth, at least here in American culture. That's the real crux of why I'm having so much drama in my life, right? The fact that I can't tell.